Hello everyone, I'm Veena Gandhi. Welcome you all again in part 2 video of the functions in a C. In this video you will learn methods of parameter passing, that is call by value and call by reference. The topics covered in this video are what do you mean by parameters or arguments, then types of functional parameters, then methods of parameter passing, that is call by value and call by reference, then comparison between call by value and call by reference, and assignment on above topics. Now, what do you mean by functional parameters or arguments? Functional parameters or arguments act as a medium through which a calling function and call function interacts. That is, functional parameters are the means of communication between the calling and the call function. The parameters are the variables that will receive the data sent by calling part, and these arguments serve as the input data to the function to carry out the specified tasks. Now there are two types of parameters, formal parameters or dummy parameters and actual parameters or real parameters. What do you mean by formal parameters or dummy parameters? The formal parameters are the parameters which are used in function declaration and function definition. Now when the function is called, these formal parameters are replaced by the actual parameters. Next is actual parameters. The parameters which appear in function call are known as actual parameters. The actual parameters can be constant, it can be a single variable, or it can be a more complex expression. The number of actual parameters and type of actual parameter must be same as its corresponding formal parameters. Now you can see in a figure there are two functions, main function and add function. Main function here, in main function we define the two variables x and y having value 10 and 5. Now we call the function add by function name followed by the actual parameter. So add x comma y. So x and y appear in function call is known as what actual parameters, and we define a function before the main. So parameters declared in function definition, that is a and b, are known as formal parameters. So int add in bracket int a and int b. So a and b are known as formal parameters. Now this formal main function is called, these formal parameters are replaced by actual parameters. So a is replaced by x and b is replaced by y. Methods of parameter passing. There are two methods of parameter passing, call by value and call by reference. First method, call by value. In call by value, a copy of the actual argument is passed to the formal parameters in the call function. So any changes made to the formal parameters have no effect on the values of the actual argument in the calling function. Means the value of the actual parameters cannot be modified by a formal parameter because both parameters, actual and formal parameters, use different memory locations. So any changes made inside the function in the call function are not reflected in the actual parameters of the calling function. Let us see example of call by value method. Suppose we want to swap the values of two numbers, then we will write the code for this. First include the file #include stdio.h file. Then define the main function. In main function we declare the function swap. So void swap in round bracket int x comma int y. Why void here? Because function does not return anything, so we specify here a void here. Then swap accept two parameters x and y of type int. X and y are known as formal parameters. Now we define two variables, local variables a and b, having the value 100 and 200. Now printf the value of a and value of b before swapping. So printf before swap value of a equal to %d a, and printf before swap value of b equal to %d \n b. Then call the function swap a comma b. So while calling we use the function name swap followed by the actual values a comma b. So a and b are known as actual parameters or actual arguments. After that, control will transfer to the what calling function, call function swap. Main is the calling function and swap is the called function. Now in swap, we define a temporary variable temp, then temp equal to x. So now here value of a is copied into x and value of b is copied into y. Only copy is sent from the calling function to the call function. So temp equal to x, so temp will contain the value of a, then x equal to y. So value of the b is will be stored in the a and b equal to 10. Y equal to 10 means b equal to 10. So printf inside the swap function value of x and y and then return. After return, when return is encountered, control will transfer to the calling part. So after swap, value of a will print and after swap, value of b will be printed. Let us run the program. You can see here before swap value of a is 100 and before swap value of b is 200. Now inside a function this values are swapped. X becomes 200 and y become 100. But after calling the function, any changes made into the formal parameters x and y are not reflected into a and b, because only copy of the values is sent to the what x and y, not actual argument is sent. And x and a, y and b refers to different memory locations. So any changes made inside the called function is not reflected into the calling function in actual parameters. So after swap also value of a equal to 100 and after swap value of b equal to what 200. Second method, call by reference. In call by reference, the address of the actual argument is passed to the formal arguments of the call function. Means formal parameters refer to memory location where the actual arguments are stored. This means any changes made in the formal parameters in called function is reflected into actual parameters of calling function. Thus, the value of the actual parameter can be modified by formal parameter because both actual and formal parameter refer to same memory location or same memory's address area. Call by reference method use the concept of pointers. Now in call by reference, we pass the address of the actual parameters, the formal parameters in function definition. Now to accept these addresses, variable must be of pointer type. What is a pointer? Pointer is a variable which stores the address of other variable. Now how to declare this pointer? Syntax for it, the type asterisk pointer variable. For example, int asterisk p means p is a pointer variable of type int and which stores the address of other integer variable. Next, float asterisk q means q is a pointer variable of float type which stores the address of only float variable or floating number. Here you can see in this example, here we define two variables, int var having value 10 and pointer to integer, so int asterisk p. Now p stores the address of variable, means what p contains the what address of variable, address of other variable, and it's var. Okay, you can see in the figure var is a variable having value 10 and its address is shown here. Now this address is contained in a p variable because p is a pointer which stores the address of var. So p contains same address as the address of var. Means p is pointing to same memory location of the, means p indirectly refers or accesses the value of the var at its 10. So any changes made by p into this location will be reflected into var. Let us see example of call by reference. In same program, we want to swap the two numbers. but by using call by reference method. In call by reference method, we use the concept of pointer. Now here, first include the header file stdio.h. In main function, declare the function swap, void swap, in round bracket, integer pointer x and integer pointer y. Asterisk x means pointer variable x of type integer, and int asterisk y means pointer variable y of type integer. Function does not return anything, that's why we specify it type as a void. Now define two variables a equal to 100 and b equal to 200. Now print the values of a and b before swapping. So printf before swap value of a %d \n a, and printf before swap value of b %d \n. Then call the function swap by passing the address of the variables a and b. A and b are the actual parameters. We are passing the address, original value of the a and b. In call by value, we only pass the copy of the values a and b. Here we are passing address of a and b. Now function will transfer the control from main function to the swap function. Now here in swap function, pointer x will contain the address of a and pointer y will contain the address of b. Now inside the function, temp will store the actual value, original value of the x, that is a, and we swap the value here. We put the value of y into x, means we put the value of b into a, and then store the value of temp into b. After that, control will transfer to the calling part main function. So after swap, print the value of a and print the value of b. So in call by reference, any changes made inside the function will be reflected into the actual parameters in calling function, because formal parameters and actual parameters refer to same memory location. So any changes made into formal parameter will be reflected into the actual parameter. Now I have already run the program. So before swap, value of a is 100 and before swap, value of b equal to 200. Now after swapping, value of a is 200 and value of b is 100. So in call by reference, any changes made in the formal parameters in call function also get reflected into the actual parameter in calling function. Let us see comparison between call by value and call by reference. In call by value, a copy of the actual parameter is passed into formal parameter. In call by reference, address or reference of the actual parameter is passed into formal parameters. In call by value, changes in formal parameters will not result in changes of the actual parameters. In call by reference, changes in formal parameter will result or reflect into the actual parameters. In call by value, separate memory location is allocated for actual and formal parameters. In call by reference, same memory location is used by actual and formal parameters. Assignment. Short questions. What are the types of parameters? Define formal parameter and actual parameter. Long question. Explain the methods of parameter passing to the function. Then differentiate between call by value and call by reference. I hope you must understood the concept of parameter passing. Please share and like the videos. Thank you for watching.